Happy Sunday, everyone. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. We're so glad you're here. Today is November 1st.
Woo!
We're going to begin as we always do as we rise together and face the Nagel Yisrael, the flag of Israel if you have one. If not, we'll just rise and we'll sing Hatikva together. That's on page 1.
Page 1, that's my favorite page.
Mine too, Cantor.
Kol od balevav penima, nefesh Yehudi homiha, ulfatei mizrach kadima, ayin letzion Sophia, od lovda tikvatenu, hatikva bat shnot alpayim, liotam chofshi be'aretzenu eret Zion v'Yerushalayim, liotam chofshi be'aretzenu eret Zion v'Yerushalayim.
All right, everyone, you may be seated for just a moment. We're going to talk about our Torah portion today called Vayera. And Vayera means, and God appeared. By now, hopefully you know that God appeared to Abraham, letting Abraham know that a couple of special things were going to happen. One, Abraham was going to receive visitors, and we know that one of Abraham's great traits was that his hospitality was fantastic. He was welcoming. But also, Abraham's going to be told about the birth of his son Isaac and making sure that Abraham brings Isaac into the covenant through the rite of circumcision and through one of the most famous portions in the whole Torah, that of the binding of Isaac. Luckily, after the binding of Isaac, the only thing the rest of our children have to go through is circumcision and baby naming. And when you put it in that context, it's not so bad after all. So, we're going to continue now as we rise again for our call to worship, Baruch Hu. So come on and rise, and let's let God know that we're all ready to pray.
Ya la 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 ya la 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 la, ya la 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 ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. First me, Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Now it's our
Everybody.
turn.
Baruch
Stand up straight.
Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach
standing and we're ready to pray. We're going to pray to God. And so I ask my customary question, how many God is there? One God. That's right. Let's do the Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
You may be seated, and the Cantor is going to lead us on Via Hafta, which can be found on page 4.
Page 4, that's my favorite page.
Mine too, and I want to hear you as loud as you can. I want your parents and dogs to howl and come running to see what's going on in your room or in front of your computer. Via Hafta as loud as you can.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך.
Even louder.
וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך.
Keep going.
למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Good work, everyone. Good work. And now we're going to pause for a moment just to review the midah of the week.
דן לכף זכות.
Giving the benefit of the doubt. That is, we really want to treat all people the way we want to be treated, not all the time, because, you know, you may like orange popsicles and I may like watermelon popsicles and the Cantor may like lime popsicles. Did I get that right? Well,
Not even close.
We'll never know. Not even close. But, right? So that's not what it's really about. It's really about you want people to think of you as a good person when you show up, and you want people to think that you're there to do good and to be good and to give you the benefit of the doubt. And so that's what we're supposed to do to everyone. We want to, instead of jumping to conclusions, instead of judging a book by their cover or by what they're wearing, or maybe even the first thing out of their mouth, because some people get nervous when they meet new people or they're in new situations. Some people are shy when they meet new people in new situations and they may be a little bit quiet. What we want to do is give people the benefit of doubt, which often means putting in the effort and giving them time to show us who they are, why they're there, and what they're doing. And until we know for sure, we assume that they're there for good, to do good, and that they will be an asset or a good addition to whatever we're doing. It's almost like the modern judgment system in this country was based on this midah. That is,
Innocent until proven guilty?
innocent until proven guilty. And that's how important this concept is, that it has, in fact, influenced the democratic law system. It's amazing. Okay, and before we go on, we are going to do our Hebrew word of the day. So, Cantor, how do you say man in Hebrew?
Ish.
How do you say ish in English?
Man.
And how are we going to remember it? We're going to say that man is outlandish. Wow. So our Hebrew word of the day is ish, which means
Man.
And the way we say man in Hebrew is
Ish.
ish. And the way we say ish in English is
Man.
And now we're going to skip to the end of our service. We haven't done the concluding prayers yet in this prayer workshop, so we want to make sure that we cover them. So we are going to turn to page 9.
Page 9, that's my favorite page.
My favorite too, and we're going to rise together for the Aleinu. Now, normally when everyone is here, we would open up the ark, but we want to wait to open up the ark for you, and we want you to see our faces while we're doing this. So we're going to say the Aleinu facing the camera, but we want you to follow along. In your book, put your finger right there, follow along, either in the Hebrew or in the transliteration, so that we can all make sure we know the Aleinu together.
Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם.
Now hold on a second, because there's some
choreography
in the Aleinu, which means there's some dance moves. There's some movement involved. So we are going to bow in the Aleinu. Now you see this part that's indented in both the Hebrew and in the transliteration that starts with V'anachnu. Well, V'anachnu means what?
And we.
And we. So we're going to ignore that word until we get to korim, which means?
Bend your knees.
Bending your knees or bowing. So we're going to do like this. Okay? Ve'anachnu. But remember, we're in the indented paragraphs. We got to pay attention for our dance move, our choreography. And then we say korim, which is when we bound our knees. Umishtachavim umodim. Then when you hear a word that sounds like lift, lifnei, we're going to lift up, right? So there you go. Lifnei melech. Right? So let's try that again. Everybody watch us and do it with us. V'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Great job, everyone. One more time, Cantor.
ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו, ושמו, ושמו אחד.
At which time we would normally close the ark, but we're going to wait again because we don't want to open the ark without you. So now we turn to page 10.
Page 10. Also my favorite.
Also my favorite, and it is the mourner's Kaddish. And page 10 is when we remember all those who we've loved and we've lost, all those who've come before us. And this is normally where I ask anyone to share names of people who have died in the last 7 days, which we call Shiva, or died in the last 30 days, which we call Shloshim, or died at this season in years past. And the anniversary of a loved one's death is called a yahrzeit. And so I ask all those who are in mourning to continue to rise, but it's our custom here in support of everyone, in support of one another, and in memory of all those that came before us, to stand as a whole community so we can all share in remembering our ancestors and comforting those who are sad. So we're going to remain standing as I invite you to share the names of people whom you want to remember at this time. Very nice, thank you. And we're going to say the mourner's Kaddish together. And we're going to go fairly slow, and I want you to follow along with your finger. This is very important. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbi, v'yalma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dekol beit Yisrael. Bagala uzman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mivorach leolam olamei omaya. Yitbarak v'yishtabak v'yitpa'ar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yithale v'yithalal shemei dekudasha barechu. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran b'yoma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama Rabba min Shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. O say shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. May there be abundant peace from heaven and life for us, for all Israel, for all the world, and let us say together, Amen.
Amen.
May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, to all the world, and comfort anyone who is sad among us because they're missing people who are gone. And we say together,
Amen.
Amen. Whew. Cantor, I think we're going to do the Aleinu and the Mourner's Kaddish next week as well, so that we can get used to it before we go back to the beginning as well. So we're going to now turn to page 11 for our closing song.
Page 11. That's my favorite page.
That's right. And it's going to be Gesher Tzar Me'od.
Kol
Haolam kulo Gesher Tzar Me'od. Gesher Tzar Me'od. Gesher Tzar Me'od. Kol Haolam kulo Gesher Tzar Me'od. Gesher Tzar Me'od. Hey, hey, hey.
V'haikar, v'haikar, lo לפחד, לא לפחד כלל. v'haikar, v'haikar, לא לפחד כלל.
Haolam kulo Gesher Tzar Me'od. Gesher Tzar Me'od.
Gesher Tzar Me'od. Kol
Haolam kulo Gesher Tzar Me'od. Gesher Tzar Me'od. Happy Sunday, everyone! Sunday, Sunday,
Sunday, Sunday.